on the mics here? I need a little echo. I need a little echo. I need a little echoplex, and I need a little slap back just to make sure we can get the voice right on that. If you want me to sing. You're with us, baby boy.
No, you're sitting
Here we
right
go. No, I think, well...
Norman's sitting where you're sitting.
What? No, let Norman sit right here so we can both talk to him. I mean, yeah?
Great.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your name?
My name's Norman. Reedus. You keep coming. What is it? One day at a time. How's it work?
Keep coming back.
Keep coming back.
Not that I'm afraid of bills,
My
but
name's Norman. I'm an alcoholic.
You don't drink, huh?
I
I
Norman.
really don't, actually. Back in the day.
I miss Damiano's. That shithole.
Yeah.
Damiano's was...
That's where I got my acting started.
Oh, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
How so? I mean, we used to go to Damiano's verbatim after,
Yeah.
like, 1:30, after everything closed.
Yeah, they
It just kept
Love
going.
that back room with that big table
We
back
slayed
there.
a couple of the chicks at work there, too. It was just like, yeah, it was funny.
They had a couple good ones there.
thing.
Do you remember Debbie Diamond?
I do.
Where's Debbie Diamond? I
that
don't know where the
I don't
Damiano's
know.
thing.
No, but Debbie Diamond. Debbie Damiano.
Yeah, yeah.
What can you guys tell us about her? I mean, I've heard her name, but...
No, I just know her. I don't know any more than that.
Well, Debbie and I used to go to Damiano's all the time, but she used to date Henry, actually, way back when. But how I got started at Damiano's, I used to work at this place called Dr. Carl's Hospital in Venice, just doing like grunt work stuff.
Right.
And I got in a fight with my boss because he got in a fight with his dog, right? A physical fight with his dog, and I didn't like it, and we got into a fight, and he fired me, and I went to a party one night and got really drunk and yelled at a bunch of people from a second floor balcony, and somebody came up and said, have you ever thought about being an actor? And I went, fuck you. And then the guy that took me to the party was like, who's that girl you're talking to? And I was like, oh, some chick, blah, blah. And they talked us into going to Damiano's, and they were like, oh, if you do this play, you could be the understudy for this play. You won't even have to fucking do it. And I'm like, well, how much will you pay me? And they said, we'll pay you this much. And you just have to go to rehearsals. And then the first night, the dude didn't show up, and I did the play, and somebody signed me.
What play?
It was called Maps for Drowners at the Tiffany Theater. But at the party, when my friend said, who was that girl, we all went to Damiano's, and they called the director of that play, and they met us at Damiano's.
Right.
So that's where they talked me into doing it, was at Damiano's.
And how was it, like, going from screaming off the balcony to doing the play?
I didn't know what I was doing at all. And he didn't show up. It was like Lisa Kudrow was in it, and a dude named Nick Chunlin was in it, who was really cool. But I kind of just was like, trying to memorize what they were doing and stuff, and there wasn't a bunch of lines, thank God. But the dude, he didn't show up, and I had to go out there, and I guess I didn't take it very seriously, you know what I mean? And
but was it?
But I had something, I don't know. Yeah, it was fucking terrifying.
Like, yo,
yeah,
I'm lost. Were you not trying to do it?
No.
So you never went to like acting classes or
no?
You're just raw dog.
Yeah,
but you learned your chops from actually working.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it showed in my first couple of jobs that I had no idea what I was fucking doing. Yeah, but I'm still trying to figure out what.
You're right, but you
kind of just play yourself.
Kind of figured.
Yeah.
Out your way.
Yeah, kind of.
Which is like probably the better way.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like maybe it's a little more natural your approach than like, oh yeah, I studied with Uta Hagen, I studied with Stanislavski. Get the fuck out of here. How about just act, people?
Yeah, I probably could use some lessons here and there.
What was the biggest like one that you would have needed to like have the lessons to feel more like you could take a role like that? Was there like one that was like you felt like you were untrained, or I don't know what you guys call it, but like unprofessional to be an actor in? Like, was there an actual movie that you've done that you felt like, damn it?
Well, Boondock Saints I did with an Irish accent that I could have used some help with because I was brand new. I didn't know what I was doing. I was sort of learning.
It's true, you did have an accent.
I had a dialect coach that was barely there, and they sort of phonetically told me how to do things right before I said them. That one, looking back, I would have liked to professionally trained with somebody. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
that was a big one. I think that's the one. Is that the one that, like, your breakthrough one, or is there?
Yeah, kind of. Well, there was one. It was the second thing I ever did that I was like the lead guy in, and the first one I was just kind of barely in. The second one I
And what was the first one before we passed it?
The first one, what was the fucking first one? There was one called Mimic, which Guillermo del Toro hired me to play a small part in, where I got the SAG card and all that.
Right.
And then there was one called Floating right after it, which I didn't know camera left, camera right, but I didn't know any of that shit.
But you kind of learned that fast.
Yeah, that stuff, and they were kind of. I had people on the crew that were kind of looking after me as well, which kind of made it easier. But like, there was a scene in that where, and my dad was dying in real life. So there's a scene in that where my dad is dying, and all my, it's like the end of high school, and people are all going to go to college and start their lives, and I'm sort of stuck in this little town, this little lake town, basically, and the father's dying, and I have to take care of the father, and it's this guilt that I have to stay with him, and it's eating everybody up. And there's a scene where the guy, the father, comes out of his wheelchair and stands up and gives me a hug, and it's this big deal. And the director said, well, how do you want to prepare to do this? And I was like, well, what are my options? And my real dad was dying, so I was like, can you just give me a phone, give me like 10 minutes and just come get me?
Dope.
And I called my real dad, had a normal conversation. He could barely talk. And they came and they got me, and then we did the scene. And the first take, I cried so much that so much snot came out of my nose that we had to do it a second time. And then they broke for lunch, and it was in Maine that we were shooting it, and everyone ate in these tents with heaters and stuff. And so I didn't go to lunch. I went to my little trailer and I took a nap. And a grip came up and he goes, dude, I want to tell you, like, nobody spoke during lunch. Like, that's how good you were in that scene. And I was like, okay, that's how you do it. You just fucking, you take a razor blade and you just do this until you're fucking ready, or whatever. You just.
That was a good one though. Call your dad. I mean, it sucks. That
I just couldn't have thought of it.
You feel like
dealing with it. My old man.
No, that sounds like your story with taking care of.
Yeah, no. To be like, okay, here, you need to tap into something. Well, guess what? I can tap into my inner self completely.
Yeah, and it was like...
What a nice way to release, though. Like, that I mean, I don't know. For me, I was tight with my old man.
Yeah. I didn't know mine so well. I kind of got to know him when he got sick.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so but that tape of that scene, I guess, or that movie before it was edited completely, was passed around to agents and managers, and then all of a sudden, like, they were all
nice.
They all were like at my door, sending me presents and tickets to boxing matches in Vegas, and it was just fucking crazy. And I got my lawyer first. He's the first guy I trusted, and from there I sort of built a team. But it was, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what to do, where to go. I remember they took me like. They took me to CIA. They took me to all the things,
right.
And I was like, I like the fingernails were painted and the clothes were all ripped. I was the '90s LA guy, and they brought me in like the president of that agency, and he had Basquiat on his wall. And I'm sitting, he's talking to me, and I'm just looking at the bottom, and in the middle of it, I go, "Is that real?" And he goes, "What? Oh yeah, no, they just gave me artwork. I put it on the wall." And I was like, "Okay, we're out of here." And it was kind of like that. Through everything, and then I met a lady at ICM that cracked a bunch of jokes, and made me feel comfortable, and so I went with her. Her name was Tony Howard. But now I'm with CIA. with my agents from ICM are there.
Moved
now.
over,
but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's guy can gauge off of a human being.
Yeah.
And this person is going to be your agent.
Yeah.
You want some dude who's jive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they put me. Dude,
Yeah.
let me just ask you: was Basquiat selling his cock to make these paintings? Right. Oh, I don't know. They just put on like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but that's a dope way though to get put into the scene? I mean,
yeah, it was kind of a
to make
trial
a
by
living?
fire. It
Yeah,
still is
but-
kind of a trial by fire.
yeah,
be
but
honest.
even better.
You know, I just did this movie called Bike
I thought you were
Riders.
part of the Mickey Mouse Club.
I wish.
Just kidding.
You know, there was a time when there was an audition for what the fuck was that show? Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh, right.
And I was like, I have to get it. I wanted it
Right, you
so
wanted,
fucking
yeah.
bad. And everybody's like, that show's stupid. And I'm like, you know how many people watch that fucking show? And I was like, I'm gonna fuck that shit up. And it was I was giving one of the lead good-looking guys speed. I was shooting him up with speed, right?
Oh, right.
And I was like doing this audition, and I'm like, and there's like a fucking million people in the room, and a bunch of cameras and lights, and I'm doing this thing, and I was taking a pencil, and I was like flicking bubbles out of a pencil while I was talking to them, and they were all like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then I was like, I nailed that, and I got in my car, and I talked to my manager at the time, and he was like, "What the fuck did you do in there?" And I was like, "I think it was great." And they were like, no, this is TV. You don't
Right.
do that, you know. So I'm constantly learning what to do,
How to
what not
behave.
do. Yeah.
So
totally.
they
I'm
didn't think
still
that it was
figuring
cool
it
that
out.
you're getting air bubbles out of the
I don't think they knew what I was
spike
doing
before.
You know.
Yeah, no, they
You
didn't.
know, they didn't.
Again.
Yeah. So
Well,
it's weird.
I think you're about to talk about it, and I was just going to ask you about it. But then the latest one that you did with the biker movie, can we talk about that, or is that too soon?
No, we can talk about it.
Okay.
So that one, I went to Cannes, my first time at Cannes. I sat next to Jeff Nichols. There's an insanely great director. He did like Mud and like amazing director. So I'm sitting next to him, and it's France, so everybody's chain smoking and drinking, right? And he's sitting next to me, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm doing this movie. It's based on this book called The Bike Riders." And I was like, "The Danny Lyons book with the photographs?" And he
Oh,
goes,
wow.
And he goes, "Yeah, you know that?" And I go, "I have like 4 prints in my house. Like, I love that guy." And so we started talking. He's like, "Oh, there might be this role for you." And I was like, "All right, whatever." And then he cast me this role to play Funny Sonny, who was a Hell's Angels dude who, I don't know if you know his recent story. Like I think he died, but he got beat up because he went to like a Domino's Pizza or something, some local pizza place, and was bragging to the hot girl behind the counter that he was a Hell's Angel, and she was dating a Hell's Angel, so they all went to his house and beat him up and took all his shit, all his jackets and his stuff. And anyway, to play this dude, and the guy is like, he's got this crazy, he looks fucking insane, right? So they cast me and they bring me down to Ohio, and I'm shooting in France, the spin-off thing, and I get down there and I see all the cast, right? And it's like Tom Hardy, Austin Butler, like all these good-looking guys, like, and they all have these leather jackets, the collar popped and the slick back hair. And
Yeah,
all
but this is
smoking and-
taking place in the early 60s?
It's the early 60s in
Right.
Ohio, and they had a biker club there that was just friends who rode motorcycles. And what happened was they people from other towns wanted to start their own chapters of this guy's club, and he sort of let it happen. But the club, all the you know, the drugs and everything else, and the prostitution, whatever the fuck was coming into the club, ruined the club. So I get there and I see all these good-looking actors. I'm like, dude, your movie is a sausage fest. Right? And I'm like, can I do something else? And he's like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, can I just try something? And he's like, yeah. So I had these fake rotted teeth made, right? So I show up in Ohio with these fucking rotted teeth, like walking around Ohio at like Starbucks and Target, just trying to talk in the teeth, where I'm like, you know? And I got this crazy wig, and I got this fucking beard, and I hadn't met any of the cast yet, right? So they give me this old Harley with the stick shift, or what do you call it? Suicide shift. And it's got the fucking the
Rubber
knob on
ducky.
it is a rubber ducky, but it's bronzed and it's really heavy. And it's this guy Oliver's bike, who I know, who he knows, and I can't touch the ducky. I have to hold it here, and my knees are up here, and I have this beard. And right before they yell action, and I haven't met the cast yet, right? And they're all like cool, right? So the makeup person, I'm like, can I borrow these glasses that you have on? And I put them on, and they're going like this, like rolling, and I'm like, wait, these are prescription, right? The glasses are prescription. I got to ride this bike on a wet hill full of potholes with like 1,000 extras in it, in a field. Like,
and it's a jockey shift. Was that your first time with
First time! Yeah, I was terrified, right? And I can't see, right?
First time on a jockey.
Yeah, with prescription glasses on,
Right.
with potholes and
Jockey's
1,000
hard
extras
enough
to go
with
through.
regular sight.
Everyone looking at you.
Yeah, and they haven't met me yet, right? And I'm a TV actor. I mean, I've
but
done
you
a
have,
bunch of movies,
you have
but
the
I'm a TV
teeth,
guy
the
now.
beard, and the wig.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't really know it's you.
I mean, I know they know that I've been cast in it. But
Right.
I haven't met them yet. And they've been shooting for like 2 weeks, so they're all buddies already.
Right.
So I have to roll up. I have to fucking boom, 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 roll up and get off this fucking thing. And then my lines are like crazy lines, you know. And I get out and I have to go straight to Tom Hardy.
What's crazy though? Like biker shit? Like
just like, you know, show some class, like, you know, just talking out of my ass, right? And I have to fucking, I roll up in the bike, and they're all sitting on this park bench, and they're all, you know, they all look like Marlon Brando in Wild Ones, right? And I fucking come rolling up, and I have to go straight to Tom Hardy, who's like the leader, and I have to go straight to him, and he's looking at me like, the fuck are you doing, right? The whole fucking cast is looking at me like I'm insane, and I'm like, instantly I'm like, is this a bad idea? Is this a good idea?
Right,
you know,
right.
like, but I've been doing this television show forever, and so I have a certain look that I have to keep for the hair, everything, and so I was like, let me just do something different. Otherwise, I'd just be the dude from the TV show doing a cameo in the movie. Anyway, yeah. So it came out great.
Originally, you were gonna just.
Wait a minute though.
Can I smoke? Can I smoke a joint around you? Is that good?
Microphone.
Does that say bike rider?
Yeah.
Oh, it is Bike Riders. Oh, but it's Danny Lyons. Do you know?
I see his name everywhere. I just
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
Danny Lyons, you would know his photographs because he shot wicked photographs.
Oh, the
There's a
photographer.
shot
He's got the bridge. The guy.
The bridge, yes, and the dude's
Outlaws.
on like a shovel or
No,
something.
I know the book. I have it.
Yeah. No, it's a badass. Oh, I didn't know that's dope.